Match day 16, midweek matches have just come and gone about just over 24 hours ago. Crazy set of matches, a lot of interesting results. I think a lot of prominent storylines that we're going to be rounding up here on Wake Up MLS. If you're brand new to the channel, you may not recognize the faces on your screen, but if you are a returning visitor, you already know the fellas are here to help me break everything down. We got Musa from Mo Football and Top Corner Talk here on the channel. He's back, ladies and gents. He's back. We're going to talk about STL in a big way. We got Davi from the Blue Burrows Pod, Hitman Honda, all returning here with me again to break down some of the biggest storylines across the league. And guys, we're not going to spare anyone along the way. There have been some big headlines even coming in to the midweek matches. Mo knows what I'm talking about. We're going to jump right into it. It's a really interesting one because, I mean, I think we alluded to it a little bit previously in the last video. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check it out. But at the end of the day, we said there was a decent amount of positivity coming into the 2025 MLS season for St. Louis. And now we sit here on the cusp of match day 17, and they had opted prior to match day 16 to move on from Olof Mellberg, the brand new coach who took over in a permanent fashion from the interim who was brought in after Bradley Cardinell was fired in 2024. So, Mo, with that said, break it down for us, man. From your perspective, right? You're a native home fan there in terms of, being in St. Louis. Right. What's the sentiment, man? Like, I'm not on St. Louis football or soccer Twitter. I don't know if fans were calling for this guy to be sacked, if they thought maybe someone else was the problem. But right. I'm kind of curious from your perspective, what went wrong?
That's a loaded question, but I think the first one was St. Louis fan-wise. I would say probably 98% wanted him out from the very beginning. I think it's one of those things that kind of escalated as they got worse. So the first one that a lot of people were talking about was the player selections. There was a few players that were being called out by name for some mistakes, preferably the defense. But as you probably saw, we've not scored that many goals too. So we were leaking goals after the 5-game streaks of not allowing goals. So we start leaking them like crazy, and then there was no goals from our forwards. The formation was not City-like whatsoever. If some of you guys watched the game a little bit, you saw that it's not the Red Bull-like high-pressure team that it was. Mellberg, if you know from his Aston Villa days, he was a defender. So looks like his way of working was that to make sure that we were solid in defense first, and then start working on the offense, but that never translated to goals. So it made sure that we were losing a lot of games. The other part was also the way on the pressers, the communications were not as what fans wanted to hear about. We were hearing, that there was a time we were the better team, in the first half or the second half, but all of the fans were saying otherwise. So pretty much every philosophy that we had at St. Louis, what St. Louis is, was the complete opposite with Mellberg. And there was some of those where injuries did not help, but also it did not look like St. Louis whatsoever. And the players that were on fire last season, towards the end, as you can see now, they were not recognizable. You cannot recognize Hartel, for example. So it was... Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, it was not a good look. And the front office was getting a lot of those calls as well.
I'm kind of curious about that part specifically. How do you feel about the front office now, right? Because in my opinion, we talked a little bit about this, and I don't think you were actually with us on that episode, but we talked a lot about a couple weeks ago, maybe a few weeks ago now, whether or not St. Louis had moved on from Cardinell too quickly. And I think that it's still a valid question. And not that I'm saying they're moving on from Mellberg too quickly. I think that this was a horrendous start, and you have to make changes when there really isn't any sign of progress or life anywhere. Right. But I do think, considering the success that Cardinell saw, somewhat proven to an extent in 2023, when you guys started slowing down in 2024, and maybe due to injuries or due to other factors outside of his control, he couldn't really figure it out. I thought at the time it felt too quick. It just felt like he wasn't given any sort of grace period, despite the fact that he exceeded every expectation in the book the year before. So, like, when you think about who you hire next, like, do you trust this front office to get it right? Because I feel like they've made a couple glaring mistakes along the way.
So I think for the Cornell White, we went got fired way too quickly. From the way I stood is, if he gave you that great first season, at least the grace period was to give him another season, especially after you give him a new contract, to see what he can do with the new incoming players. So I think that was too fast. And now seeing how well he's doing at Philadelphia, there's a lot of fans that are like, start putting those question mark in it. With the front office, maybe I'm a little bit too nice, or we'll say, but we had those internal jokes that maybe Mellberg, Olof, maybe, when you do some interviews, someone will do the interview so well and say all of the things that you want to hear. But then when it comes to those actions, it's totally different.
Hashtag Nico Estevez. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think it's almost one of those instances. I just miss those days where coaches were able to pick players and give them a little bit more time to do so and rely less on the front office.
Yeah.
Like Arsene Wenger and Sir Ferguson, but
yeah.
Different.
No, I agree. Different era entirely, where I feel like, they were given patience and runway that like managers just aren't given today for whatever reason. I thought this stat was kind of crazy. I don't know if it's true. I think this is wild though. 2 wins in MLS, 3 yellow cards. That's crazy. He did have 11 points in 15 matches. So, like I said, no matter who you are, I don't care if you're Pep Guardiola in MLS at the end of the day, 11 points in 15 matches, you're probably getting fired, or at a minimum, your seat is very, very hot. So, yeah, man. I don't know. I think there will. I'm hoping to see more chatter around how responsible the front office is, I think, at the end of the day. Because to me, you look at what Cardinel's doing in Philadelphia, and granted, I know we're still 16, 17 weeks into his first season with this team, but it just felt like he was asked to do a lot with a little, to an extent, in a brand new expansion side in St. Louis. I think he delivered, and then, of course, experienced some adversity that he was never given enough time to get around. And now, kind of doing the same thing in Philadelphia, just hasn't hit that adversity that I probably expect him to at some point. But yeah, man, I mean, I don't know. I think that where they go next, I will be very interested to see who they pick up. I don't really have any thoughts on the interim manager. I don't know if you do, Musa. I mean,
we do. So the nice story with him is that he's been with the club since day one. So, and he's also the local clubs here called Lufius, so he coached there as well. So he's been there since day one, the academy to St. Louis City 2, that he was the coach, to now. So he's familiar with pretty much all of the players, the incoming, the staff. So it's more of we'll see how well he's going to do in preparation. And we just had a presser. They said, it was not, if you do the job well, you might get the job. So they set proper expectations from the very beginning. He's the caretaker, and the front office did say that they're taking full responsibilities on the hire. So now I'm just questioning, hopefully they will take consideration from other people around St. Louis, or, MLS in general, to see who is the best coach to come in, because St. Louis has high standards. I was not used to it, but the way I saw when things get south, they did not take it too kindly to lose 11 games in a row, and ugly at the same time.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. So I don't know, man. Again, Davi, before we move on, Davi, Honda, you guys have anything to add here? Any feelings you guys might have about St. Louis?
I mean, just to add in St. Louis, right? Like, the fans got to put the pressure on the board of directives as well, too, because it seems like the board of directives, they're just doing whatever they want. It doesn't seem like they want to get anywhere with this. And if the fans really want that culture that St. Louis knows how to put it out there, right? The almost impenetrable place that they used to be, the fans got to start speaking out as well, too. That's what Galaxy did when they had that horrible season before the championship, right?
Yep.
They were asking for Vanny's head. They were asking for the board's head, right? And that's where they got to now. And then we're probably gonna have to do it again as well too with how things are looking like. But yeah, St. Louis wants something done.
Oh,
The
they're
fans
talking.
gotta speak up.
They're not shy about it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Again, I don't like, I'm not in those circles on Twitter, so like it's hard, but like I have seen like in comments under some of Tom Bogart's posts or like whatever, right? Like St. Louis fans are vocal. So I do think that it is the way it should be. I agree with Honda. I think it's how the LA Galaxy were able to get Will Kuntz into his position as the GM, and that led to a title despite whatever's happening in 2025. So I think St. Louis have those ambitions. It just feels like it's a little bit naive from the front office. Like it's so simple to go out and find a manager and just plug and play, not give them any real long-term runway. Just say, hey, you know what? Our team's pretty good. Make something happen with it. And if you can't, we'll find someone else who can. I just don't know if that's the right approach. And I feel like Carnell, I'm not like a big Carnell guy. I just thought like he fit that club perfectly. And I think he had earned enough, like I said, of a grace period for what he was able to do in 2023. So yeah, we will find out. Mellberg did finish with a lower points per game total than Carnell had at the time that he was fired, and did it in a significantly less period of time. So in the comments down below, guys, let us know how you feel about this one, especially St. Louis City fans. Sound off. I'm really, really curious to see how you feel about just what's next for the club as you're thinking about not just turning this season around, but ultimately starting 2026 with a bang as well. So we'll see what happens, man. On to the next major topic in our roundup for this video. It was a really interesting, this story coming in around my team, our newest number 10, Lucho Acosta. If anybody tuned in to the midweek game, he made an interesting return to his club, FC Cincinnati, where if you've been paying attention to MLS and not living under a rock, you know that he had a very successful tenure with that club. Multiple best 11s in MLS, an MVP trophy, a supporter shield, and again, just one of the better teams in the league across the board in his time there. And in his return, he was heavily, heavily booed by the Cincinnati fans at TQL Stadium. And that to me begs the question, right? Considering what he's given that fan base over time. And again, we have to factor in context is super important. He didn't leave in the best way possible, right? He really pushed for an exit and didn't show up to preseason and like things like that, right? Like I understand, in my opinion, athletes do that all the time. I'm not even like that mad about it. But he didn't like flat out refuse to ever show up to training camp or refuse to play official matches. He was just trying to help force him move out. He felt like his time to move on was now. And so it just begs the question, do you guys think this is like a W or an L from the Cincinnati fan base? I'm really kind of curious. I have my own thoughts, but Davi, man, we haven't heard from you yet on the show, so let me just start with you. If this was an NYCFC player coming back into town and he gave you guys everything, are you booing the shit out of him off rip?
I mean, depends on the situation, how he leaves.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like again, pretend it's Lucho's situation. He missed, I think, like a few days, maybe up to a week of training camp. He showed up late because he was trying to force the move, and then he didn't play any matches because again they were still like in preseason. And eventually Dallas negotiated the move, so he missed a few days of training camp. Is that enough?
Yeah, I could probably see a couple fans boo him.
The whole stadium was booing him, bro. It was crazy.
Well, I mean, I don't know about here, but I mean, probably. I mean, if it's a big player, such as him, then yeah, that's probably a good reason to boo him. I mean, he already said after like the season was over in 2024, he wanted to leave anyway. Yeah. I think he had like talks with like clubs in Argentina. I think he wanted to go back to Argentina. I think he had like some family issues or something like that towards the end of the last season. And, I mean, not showing up to preseason and not showing up to like any games or coming late, that's signs of unprofessionalism. So I could see it as a sign of disrespect to the club and to the fans, especially a player of stature like him. So yeah, the fans are within their own right to boo him. Would I have booed him? Probably.
Bro, that's fucking crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I to this day wouldn't boo even like Ferreira. Like when he came like with Seattle. I mean, it was just
I mean,
clapped, bro. I was like, all right, cool,
we
man.
we booed Sean Johnson when he came back for Leagues Cup, like the year,
bro. Yeah.
but
Y'all are built different, bro.
he
It's
left for
crazy.
money, bro. He left for money. They were, dude.
I mean, fair, but like it's his career. Like I feel like if he's given you something, like if he's giving you something to be proud of during his time there, to act like he's gonna be there forever and it's disrespectful if he's not, I think it's just crazy.
To be fair, he did throw a shot at us when he went to Toronto.
That's fair. I mean, you can see what Lucho said here, right? I think they should be grateful, and I agree. Like, I'm not saying like oh, it's like you got to bow down to Lucho, but it's like, bro, he's not your rival. He's not like it's not like Cucho Hernandez coming to town, right, from Columbus for the Hell Is Real.
I mean, it's not like he got traded to Columbus directly.
Yeah, bro, he went to Dallas, completely in a different conference. We never played Cincy. This is the first time I played Cincy in I don't know how long. Like, we never played Cincinnati.
Probably before COVID.
It's just, bro. Honestly. He's right, in my opinion. I think Lucho is right here. Like he made you guys relevant to an extent, and y'all act like he just like had the worst exit imaginable, and you're booing him. So, and I get it, man. Like it's all part of the game, and like you heckle the other player, their best player, this and that. But I think when it's someone who actually means something to the club, I don't know, man. To me, it feels a little bit disrespectful, but. That obviously I'm biased. I'm a Dallas fan. He's my number 10. I mean, what am I really going to say? Mo, you got any thoughts on this, man?
I think that's a tricky situation. Before the game, did he say anything about Cincinnati or did he talk smack? So it was just happened that during the game, every time he touched the ball.
It started with and you can hear it a little bit. They started when they read off the names. So for Dallas, they read off their roster to announce them for the starting lineup. And when they said Lucho's name, everybody booed. And then once he got out on the pitch, every time he touched the ball. And it's like maybe you're trying to get in their head, in his head, and that's all it really was. It could have been. But I could see how Lucho feels disrespected because it almost feels like what he gave them meant nothing. Like it didn't mean anything because he's not there anymore.
Yeah, so I don't know. That sounds a little sketchy about booing him that bad. Even when if he would have said anything before the game, or if it was during the game he scores and then he celebrates, then the rest of the game you boo him, I would have totally understand it. But he also did give you, a trophy, and he give you, great seasons to celebrate. Typically, when the player leaves the club with some silverware or anything like that, you just say thank you, you deserve it, and then go on. So that's why I see it is like if there was disrespect or celebrations or talk smack, then you can boo the hell out of him. Yes, but if it's just because he left, I don't know. That's a little petty. Professional players do that all the time.
Yeah, but I think it also like the way they leave too leaves a lasting impression on the fans. Like if you leave like respectfully, or like say like you leave after winning an MLS Cup or something like that, and you just leave it at that, like like I'm out, we're leaving on top, and the fans will have a better.
I think the thing is, he tried leaving respectfully. He tried asking for it, and they said no.
Yeah, they tried to keep him hostage there.
Yeah, so what are you supposed to do when they say no? A lot of players, when they want out, either the club says, hey, thank you for your service, and then you deserve it, get out. Or if they say no, then that's what you have to do is force it. And you have to think about it, right? The last thing you want, as well as a player that wants out of your club, then you put him in preseason, and then you put him during games. He's not going to be happy. He's not going to play well.
Or he might do an Antonio Brown and just leave mid game.
Right. So I think sometimes it's just that time where if he wants out, just let him go. So maybe the club should take a little bit of hit from it.
I mean, especially like a player like Lucho, like he did so much for your club. I mean, like if it wasn't for him, you probably have four wooden spoons in a row.
Yeah, I agree, and I just think that honestly, the wounds are raw. I think that's what it is. Like I know with Cincy Soccer Talk, because I was I tuned into their preview of Dallas versus Cincinnati, and they had another Dallas or had another fan. I might have been a Cincy fan come on the show, and they talked about it, like what the reception for Lucho would be. And one of them said that when Brandon Vasquez comes back to Cincy with Austin, it's not going to be anywhere close to the reception Lucho will get when he comes with Dallas. And I get it. Like, he very publicly at the end of last season said he was ready to leave and made like an ultimatum and, was going to just stay down in Argentina. But he still came back and showed up. He tried to force his move, and it didn't work out exactly the way he wanted it to. But at the same time, as a fan, would you not want a player who very clearly wants to be gone? Like, I want that. Like, if a player doesn't want to be here, bro, go. Like, you're doing us a favor. If your heart and your mind aren't fully in playing for this club, representing this badge, you're doing us a favor by going and getting some money out of the deal, right? So, like, it's not like he's pulling a Trent Alexander-Arnold and like leaving for free, and like that's a whole different can of worms, right? But like, I know Liverpool fans are super pissed about that in the Prem, but like, it's just, I don't know, man. To me, it just feels like they need something to motivate them to like really hate Lucho for this game and this game specifically. I think the wounds are just fresh. I think if a 2 or 3 season period had gone by and then Lucho comes back to Cincinnati, I don't think it would have been that big of a deal.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's those stories are true, but it looks like it was off the field situations that maybe the Cincy fans that are following those players know about. But I think if you go to X or whatever you call it now, there's a few people that are saying that there was off the field situations that they did not appreciate as well. So maybe for some of us that don't really know about it, but still, is that the guy gave you a few good seasons to celebrate.
I agree.
At least when he comes to town, show him a little respect. If he disrespects you, then go for it.
Yeah. And look, at the end of the day, I mean, it's not like Lucho had a crazy game either. I mean, he had a pretty solid game all the way around. It wasn't anything special. But keep in mind, this is exactly what he said after the game. He said, the fans need to be more grateful with me. They boo me, but I don't deserve that. I feel bad because I won the Supporters Shield here, the first MVP for the club, the first trophy for the club. I think I deserve more than that. And I think, like I said, when you put it that way and you kind of translate it from Spanish, it maybe sounds a little bit entitled. But I think at the end of the day, he's not wrong. And I think that when you're a club as young in this league as Cincinnati is, it's just hard to maybe see the one quote unquote legend that you have playing for somebody else against you. But I think it's, I don't know, man. It's so difficult for me to just like completely forget everything he did. I'm not saying it's like when, and this is like a terrible comparison, but like I don't know, like when Neymar went to PSG, right? Or Messi's a different story. This is like he was literally like,
I'll tell you, Lampard went to Everton and
yeah, like that, right?
Scored against us.
Yeah, but like as a Chelsea fan, are you so quick to forget everything he did? And even that's kind of a stretch because Lampard did so much.
It's Mr. Chelsea, you can't.
Yeah, you can't, right? But I think Lucho, to an extent, was Mr. Cincy. And I think
he was.
If you're just gonna forget everything he did, then like,
dude, he came in halfway through a season where they won their 3rd straight wooden spoon, and then the next year they got into playoffs and got their first win.
Yeah,
maybe MLS fans will start learning that part of the game where players will not stay at your club for 15 years. Mm-hmm. You will see them. Most likely, we'll see them somewhere else. You have to kind of give them their flowers.
I think it's also just the way of like American sport in general.
Yeah, we have a lot more like franchise leagues out here where there's more player movement between the teams. Like I agree with that. It's
not so much like Europe or like how it was 15, 20 years ago where a player could stay at one club for essentially his whole career, and then once he's no longer like, I guess, up to par or just doesn't have the legs for it anymore, he bows out and goes to MLS or something like that to finish off their career, maybe go to another club. But I mean football here, like football culture, it's still pretty young. We still kind of in the development of it all. So we're not really up, like, I guess like up there when it comes to like, I guess, education or something like that. Maybe for
like understanding culture elsewhere. I get that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And the last thing I kind of say on this point is like, for those fans, I can almost see the comments now. For those fans who are like, no player's bigger than the club, we're always gonna prioritize the club over the player. That is not what we are saying, right? Like that's just not. Mm-hmm. We understand Cincy will always be, as a club, more important than any individual player. It doesn't mean that you can't appreciate a player once they're gone. A perfect example, bro. Despite what anybody may think, Messi is my favorite player of all time. I'm a diehard Barcelona fan.
Yeah, me
and
too.
when I watched him leave to PSG, I can't, and Musa knows this, like being a PSG fan. I'm not a PSG fan. I don't really like PSG, but I went and bought a PSG kit that had Messi on the back, and I watched him play in Ligue 1. And like, it just is what it is, man. Like, I'm going to support my player everywhere he goes. The thought of me turning my back on some of the players who have given me some of the best moments I've had as a fan, it just, I don't know, man. It doesn't sit right with me.
I mean,
Does
but at
not
the
sit
same
right with me.
time, like that situation really wasn't his fault. He was kind of
Yeah, but even if it was, like,
Yeah.
bro,
Yeah.
even if he just decided he was ready for a new challenge, a new horizon, wanted to go experience something new, bro, we're all human.
Well,
you can't tell me
say,
that you just expect someone to stay around forever.
Jose, you say no players bigger than one club, but unless you're Messi and in Miami, then
Inter Miami is the only place where that happens.
I waited for that. I waited for that.
Hey, Navi, aren't you guys supposed to be the Messi haters? Like,
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
God forbid I wear an Argentina shirt. Oh no.
I'm actually today rocking one of Musa's goats, I'm sure.
Oh yes,
my boy Thierry and Bergkamp.
Dude, even though he played for Red Bull, I fucking love TT.
Yeah, TT's him,
as you
man.
should.
Yeah, but again, man, it's like I said, it's just one of those things where I don't know. It doesn't sit right with me. I want the fans to tell me if I'm wrong. All right, in the comments, let me know. I think we all made some very valid points here. I think Lucho was also valid in how he felt, but again, I don't want that to affect how he plays. At the end of the day, fans are fans. So let us know, especially Cincy fans, down below, how you're feeling about that one, how you felt about Lucho coming back to play against you guys, and whether
at
or not
least he did not leave like Emmanuel Reynoso left Minnesota with a gun in his hand.
Oh my God!
Shit.
All right, we're moving past that shit. We're moving past that
forgot
one.
about that one.
Yeah, that was a crazy one. What a video! What a video! All right, man. On to our third topic of the day. We have an Eastern Conference team that many were backing to be a top two, maybe even a contender for MLS Cup when the season was all said and done. And we sit here now, and Charlotte are in what position of the table now? Have they fallen to just outside of playoffs? Or they're ninth. As we sit here and have this conversation today, they are barely scraping into the postseason. They're coming off of a defeat to arguably, according to some, the best defense in MLS, New York Red Bulls, and it's a weird time, man. Charlotte right now legitimately has more losses than wins, more goals conceded than for, and I can't even sniff Wilfred Zaha's impact on this team. Can't sniff it. Like I have no idea what has happened to this side led by Dean Smith, but I want all those people who told me I was an idiot for picking Vancouver over Charlotte to please stand up, man. In the comments, please stand up. I need to hear you guys loud right now because it's a wild time for you. I'm sure you might be going through some shit mentally. I don't know. But guys, Charlotte, man, Charlotte. I almost want to ask: are we if Charlotte was on the New York Stock Exchange right now? Are we buying stock in this team?
Nope. Hell no.
We're not buying stock, bro.
Jose, by the way,
I've already sold the stock, bro. I've already sold the stock when it was
there's a 10-point gap between Vancouver and Charlotte right now.
Exactly. And I got called crazy for saying that Vancouver was a better team back in after the first month of the season. But again, I don't want to rib receipts in people's faces too hard. I think at the end of the day, if I look at this team winning one game in the last 5 or 6, whatever it is, I can't tell you what's wrong. Like when I watch them, it's not like they're inherently bad. I mean, some of the mistakes that lead to goals, I'm still very perplexed by, very confused. This back line, granted, we have to say this. Charlotte has, I hate making this excuse for teams, but they have an insane amount of injuries. They do. Like they have an insane amount of injuries at the end of the day. Yeah. But at the same time, right, is that a valid excuse? Can we say that?
I mean,
injuries? I don't know. I wouldn't.
No.
It's a 50-50 when you put injuries.
Because here's the thing again, right, Jose? When you're looking at clubs like, okay, yeah, Real Madrid is very different from Charlotte, right? But Real Madrid are still in second place in La Liga with no backline, right?
Yeah.
Charlotte and the MLS, I'm not saying, oh, yeah, be second place, but show something to prove for it that they have to be one of those top contenders. They have Zaha up top. They have Achampong, who's actually doing very well, right?
Yeah.
So for them to have excuses of not scoring goals, like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, look, man, it's one of those things where, like, Zaha to me is just not playing that well. I'll be honest. Augumang is getting like some goal contributions here and there, but more importantly, as a team, they're creating chances. Like, bro, like they have their XG is solid. They're creating chances in open play. They're either not burying them or someone's missing that final cutting through pass. And then in transition, bro, I don't know if it's the fact that like Tim Ream and Byrne or some of those guys are out, but like, dude, in transition, it's just, I don't know. Malanda's not that great. I feel like Scardina's okay as an outside back. He's not like the most lockdown guy, 1v1. And this team is just not what we've seen the last 2 seasons in the back. And granted, guys like Tim Ream are out, right? Other players are out as well. There's like 5 or 6 injuries right now. They're all going to be back at some point in June, I think. Right? So we're not terribly far from seeing a full strength Charlotte. But I'll tell you what, man, if they get to full strength and they still can't figure it out, I don't know.
No, I think you got to ask questions about Dean Smith at that point.
Could it be the Dean Smith juice being tainted?
I don't know, man. Maybe. And granted, with what he's done so far, this is another guy that I hope that Charlotte doesn't move on too quickly. I think he's earned a little bit of grace. A little bit. I'm not saying a lot, right? If Charlotte makes playoffs this season, he should be in no matter how they finish. They could lose in the wild card. I don't care. Like, it's a down season, whatever, right? But I don't know, man. I was a firm believer that when they had opportunities in the market last window to go out and get attackers, they added Zaha, which is great, finally. But I still believe they need a true striker. And I still believe they need a clinical striker. Augumang is like, he's not a bad player. It's just he's rough around the edges. You know, he's not clinical. He's a great athlete, has an insane physique that allows him to score goals that maybe others can't. But he's not clinical enough to be like a 20 goals a season scorer. Like, he's just not. So
they are top 10 in big chances missed as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. I'm telling you, when I watch this team, they're not a bad team. It's not like watching Atlanta where you're like, bro, they signed all these players. I don't even know where the chances are going to come from. Like, I couldn't even tell you. And we'll talk about Atlanta, right? But like, this is like a team that's creating chances. Like, I don't know why they can't take them. I have no idea why. I don't know if a player's going to solve that. I don't know if, like, you know, Beal just has to get rotated a little bit more and figure his shit out. I don't know if, because like, you can't rotate Zaha. Zaha's like your big name player. Maybe Vargas, but I think Vargas was probably one of the few players that actually played well against the Red Bulls this past week. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I really don't know. Could not tell you what has to happen with this team.
They just need to keep Zaha away from a microphone a little bit. Just let him kind of click up with the teammates and stop asking him questions.
Yeah. Get him off Snapchat. Get him off social media too.
Yeah, he needs to kind of focus on the game, because I think every time I turn around, there's a quote from him. That's my guy. I was celebrating when he came in, but I was like, I think they put a little bit too much.
Yeah, they're putting too
on
much
him at this
him.
moment.
Yeah,
for him to be Giroud, like, right? You have the name, you have the experience, you should come in and MLS should be that easy for you. And I think that's might be part of the problem with Zaha, is that he's already on that pedestal to make great things happen, even though he struggled in Turkey and then struggled in the EPL towards the end of his career. I think you just need to dial down a little bit and focus on scoring.
Yeah, also people people forget that MLS is not easy. It's not an easy league to play here. It's not the same league as it was in like 2010. Right. It's a lot harder now.
Yeah, and he's 32 at the end of the day. You know, like, we're not getting prime.
And he's playing homes on AstroTurf as well. His home games are on AstroTurf as well.
Yeah, and we're not getting prime, Crystal Palace Zaha. You know what I mean? So, like, at the end of the day, like, I'm more understanding of the fact that, like, he still has 6 or 7 goal contributions. So it's not like a crazy bad season. It's just when you actually watch the game, put stats aside, you watch the game, it's not just him. It's a lot. Like, outside of Abada, I don't know. I don't feel really super confident in anybody in that lineup. They just feel like they miss chances. Like, if anybody watched them play against Minnesota when they lost, I think it was like 1-0. Bro, the sheer amount of close chances inside of the box they just whiffed or couldn't get somebody on the end of. And I'm like, guys, This is how you just lose points, drop from 4th to 9th, and like before you know it, you're in a wild card in October. Like, in October, you're trying to figure out like how the hell you got here. I don't know, man. Like we talked about a little bit last week with Charlotte, and I think they're approaching Atlanta territory prior to Atlanta's like recent bounce back or resurgence in form. They're kind of approaching that territory pretty quickly, where I don't know how they're going to finish the season. I think right now, the dog days of summer are right around the corner. There might be a chance to reinforce, but I don't know what their finances look like. I don't know if they have cap room to do it. Someone in the comments let me know if Charlotte has some room there, because maybe Dean Smith will make a move. But yeah, man, I mean, they either have to get more clinical up front with their chances and take more of them, or you got to bring somebody in, I think, who can kind of impact this team, give it a spark as they move into the second half of the season. So, yeah, man, I don't know. Let us know in the comments down below, guys, how you feel about that one. That one's a really interesting one. I'm curious to see how Charlotte ends up trying to make moves, how Dean Smith plans to turn this all around at the end of the day. And then finally, guys, I kind of teased it a little bit just a minute ago, but Atlanta, we have dragged Hot Atlanta on this show. We really have, and rightfully so.
Well,
Rightfully
it's
so.
been shit Atlanta.
Yeah. they made so many moves, right? Spent money, got a new manager, a manager with championship pedigree, and again, spent some real dollars in the market prior to this season starting. And it just hasn't worked out. There were rumors of cultural problems at the very stem of the organization with Atlanta. It was affecting the locker room. And now, we kind of sit here and, bro, Atlanta might be back. I don't want to speak too early, but a couple great, games for them in a row now. And, they're slowly kind of not climbing back up. Let's be real. It's like an 11th or 12th or something. But at the end of the day, Hot Atlanta might be getting hot again. On back-to-back wins, guys, are Atlanta turning it around? Who's betting on this team?
I don't know. They got I think they
give
got
it
the
a
next
little bit of
7 away
time,
games.
because this could be just like, okay, the last punch before they drop down again, right?
Bro,
it could be that.
They beat Cincy and Orlando.
Yeah, but isn't Orlando like the last home game in a while, because they have like Club World Cup at their stadium, so they have to play like the next 7 away?
Yeah, but at the same time, yes, that's true. But Orlando also haven't lost in I don't know, like 8 or 9 games straight.
I mean, those are impressive victories. Those are top 3-4 teams in the East right now. So
yeah, 100%,
those are good victories.
2 top 5 teams that took them down. So this team has potential. It's just a matter of are they actually going to stay consistent with it? Right? That's the big question that I ask. And they're going into a game with the Red Bulls where I think they can win. I mean, we all know Red Bulls are, at least right now, just a pretty beatable team to an extent. They can also score goals, don't get me wrong, but I do think Atlanta right now, finding a way to stay in things. Bro, they're averaging, the last 2 games against these top 5 opponents, 3 goals and 4 goals. Those are those 2 games. They couldn't buy a goal in weeks before, and now they're scoring for fun.
Show me that it's not trap game potential as well, too.
Yeah.
By beating New York Red Bulls significantly.
Yeah.
Or New Jersey Red Bulls, as Dobby would like to say.
New Jersey Red Bulls.
Well, I don't know if we're after Red Bull on their schedule, but I know they come up here pretty soon as well. So
Atlanta does?
Yeah. And we're gonna be without
Priest. It's right after. It's right after.
We're gonna be without Priest and Romero and Alonso. So we're gonna have
Atlanta's next 4 games. 4 games. The Red Bulls, NYCFC, Columbus, and Miami.
Dude, if they could win one of those 4 games,
you're back.
That's good.
Bro, no, they got to win 2. I think personally, they have to win 2. And I think that it's I don't know. This might be a wild statement. I think one of those 2 wins ends up being Miami. I do. I just think that Miami's defense can't buy a break right now. They are so terrible defensively. Almost nobody lets Montreal score, and Montreal scored 2 on them, at home. And I think Montreal was at home actually. But either way, I don't know. I think this team is just Messi and Suarez can score however many goals they want to, but if they can't stop any goals from going in, I think Atlanta can punish them. If I had to bank on it, I think it's Red Bulls and Miami.
It's probably the hardest game, but Atlanta, I want to see them at least compete with Columbus to show that, okay, they have something. They have hunger, right? because they beat Cincy, they beat Orlando at home. Okay, they're at home, and I get it. Like Cincy were coming in strong, Orlando were coming in strong, and then they end up losing in Atlanta. But Atlanta's going to Columbus, right? If they even manage to draw, that's a W for them.
No, sorry. They're hosting Columbus. They're hosting.
Oh, they're
Columbus.
hosting Columbus. Okay.
Oh, if they beat them.
Oh no. You're sorry. I looked at the
2 out
game
of 4.
forward. No, it is. It's at lower.com field. It's at lower.com field.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Another game.
So it's they had like
Atlanta's hosting,
seven in a row. Seven in a row away.
Yeah. And keep in mind, guys, those who remember, man, 2023, that playoff series between Columbus and Atlanta was a fucking banger, bro.
Oh, yeah.
That 3-game series in the opening round, like after game 2, I legit thought like, bro, Atlanta might do this. And this is against prime Cucho, Christian Ramirez.
This is prime Nancy ball.
Prime Nancy ball. Yeah. And they gave it to him at home, right? So like now I think this Columbus team can be beaten. They are still a good team. But if Atlanta does this, if this next 4-game stretch, they take home like 6 or 7 points, I don't know, man. Atlanta might be back. They might be back, boys. I don't know. Musa, any thoughts?
I haven't followed. To be honest, I haven't followed them as much. But I think if they can manage 2, maybe 3 out of those 4, then they'll definitely be a contender. But money talks.
Yeah, Ronnie Dyla's job might be saved. I know Davi's probably happy about that.
I mean, good for him. Good for him to succeed. But dude, I don't know why. Dude, they might even sneak a point. They might even get all 3 when they come up here. I'm because for some reason we just can't beat teams that are below us in the standings. We could beat the big boys. So,
how are you guys going to receive Ronnie Dyla when he comes up? Do you think you'll boo him?
No, it's going to be a standing.
I'm just saying, man. I don't know if the same rule applies for managers that does players. I don't know.
How can you boo the guy that won you a championship?
Apparently, you can boo the guy who won you a supporter shield. I don't know.
Oh, but who gives a fuck about the supporter shield?
Cincy does.
Yeah,
because it's their only fucking trophy because they've been stripped for years.
Apparently, it was hurtful. It was hurtful what Lucho did.
No offense, Cincy fans. No offense, but you'll get your cup soon.
Yeah, I think it's. I'm happy for Dyla, and I'm also at the same time. It's like Atlanta fans can like breathe a sigh of relief. Like, oh, okay, we're actually not going to be maybe terrible the entire season. Maybe it was just one of the worst starts we could have had, and now we're picking up a little bit of steam, some momentum, and we can start using this as a launch pad to becoming the team that everybody thought Atlanta was going to be when they brought in these players, when they brought in this manager. So. We'll see, man. We'll definitely see. Guys, again, let us know in the comments down below. What's up?
Davi said it before. Like, Dyla starts off slow and then boom.
Yeah.
You see that?
Bro, imagine they just like somehow like fucking take off from this and they become just a powerhouse.
Dude, if they take off to win a cup, I'm going to clap them off.
Oh, man. It'll be crazy. It will be crazy to follow. I don't know. We'll see. Atlanta does have championship pedigree at the end of the day. They do have an MLS Cup to their name. So, we'll see if Dyla can kind of reinvigorate that a little bit down there in Hotlanta. So again, Atlanta United fans, let us know in the comments down below, man, how you guys feel about that.
Could this be the championship DVD moment for Atlanta?
Yeah, there it is. There it is. The weekly ritual championship DVD moment. If it is, man, it'll be crazy to see how fans react down there. I know they've been pretty pissed that they've had the start that they've had. So, all right, guys, that is it. That is our roundup for this week. We do have quick fire predictions to jump into, so stick around for a few more minutes. We're going to jump right into these, guys. You're not going to want to miss it. Every one of us will go round table fashion here. No in-depth preview or breakdown. We're just going to make our picks for the upcoming match day 17 games, and then we're going to get out of here. All right, so let's go ahead and tee it up. First one, Moose is going to love it. I'm actually curious to see how you think about this one now to the interim manager. St. Louis hosting San Jose.
Well, we are at home, so they better win it.
I think a game, actually. It'll be a good game. I think your guys' defense is decent, and it will have to be against this attack, I think.
Yeah. We're going back to a back four, so bring it back 2023. So let's see how that happens. And I think most of our players are coming back, but two that were practicing by themselves. So, hey, let's take up the opportunity of maybe getting one of those bounce back.
Nice.
Just one.
Just one. All right, I'm gonna go with draw. I think it'll be a contested game. I think the goal for St. Louis in this game, on all reality, is just like get on the score sheet. Can you score multiple goals? And I think if you can do that, if you keep San Jose relatively at bay, I think it's gonna be hard to stop their attack, but keep them at bay. Don't lose the game at home. I think it's a decent start for the new interim manager.
Take the lead and don't give it back.
If San Jose play how like they played last night, and St. Louis actually does a little bit better, St. Louis could win this. But
Yeah.
if San Jose play how they played up against Houston, how they played up against some of these other teams, right? Miami.
Yeah, Colorado. Yeah,
Isn't Arando out?
probably. But I mean, at the end of the day, to me, the guy to worry about is Christian Espinoza. I think he's just so.
Josef Martinez still looks pretty decent for how he's aged.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I'm going to go with the draw on this one as well.
Davi?
Yeah.
New manager bounce. St. Louis win this game 1-0.
Oh, that's actually a very subtle good pick. New manager bounce is actually very real. Very real.
I knew there was a reason why I like David.
Appreciate it, Mo. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Here we go, Davi. Nashville hosting NYCFC.
Yeah, give me Nashville 2-1.
Bro, there's no shot.
Davi, bro. Back your
team. I can't back this team after that fucking atrocious performance last night. I should have stayed home, honestly.
Dude, no, man.
Dude, I was going to return the favor.
Dude, the vibes, the weather, everything was just off about last night.
Davi, at least your team didn't lose to a team who didn't even attempt a goal, all right? So you can't even complain.
Oh, boy.
Well, we let Gabe Siegel score 2 on us, and we traded him for pennies on the dollar. We traded him for nothing.
Crazy though. I will say, like, it is a shame Hector couldn't be here. It's a shame he couldn't be here. That would have been some. I'm sure some.
Dude, I was like before the game, like in the group chat, I'm like, oh, like in the NYCFC group chat, like, oh, watch Gabe Siegel score, but we still win this game, and he just fucking scores 2s on us, and we lose 3-0.
It's okay, David. City had the same thing.
Hey man, listen, we lost. I mean, we also beat Houston, but we also lost to Houston this season, so I'm right there with you. But yeah, man. I mean, honestly, they're better on the road than they are at home. At home, like they really weren't that good, and we beat them.
You know what? At least we beat Greg. At least Greg's a dumbass and let us back into that game. So.
For the home team vibe, I'm going to go with Cashville, but it's going to be close. I don't think NYCFC get beat 3-0 again. I think it's going to be.
No, I think we lose 2-1. I think we lose by 1 goal.
Fair.
Nashville.
All right. Nashville wins at home.
David, I was going to give you return the favor, but I guess since you just
do it, man. Do it.
We'll just have to give it to Nashville then. Sorry, David.
All right.
You killed your team, so I just have to follow through. Finish them off.
Fair enough.
I gotta be honest, man. That was fucking poor.
I'm not mad at it, bro. On the end of the day, I'm not mad at it. It's just like. It's crazy how like the Houston game like just absolutely destroyed you. It's like nope, this team's ass.
I don't know what it is about this team. I don't know if it's mentality or anything like that, but it's been a problem being inconsistent. It's been a problem for a couple years now. So I thought it was a Nick Cushing problem. Clearly, it's not a Nick Cushing problem. It's with the players now. Because
hashtag bring back Nick Cushing. Bring back Nick Cushing, bro. I'm in. I'm totally in for that. Underrated manager in MLS. All right, man. Montreal hosting the Revs.
Give me the Revs.
Hey, bro. Montreal scored what, like 15% of their goals this season against Miami?
Yeah,
I'll take Montreal.
Might do it against. They were on the road too, by the way. I thought they were at home, but they were actually on the road against Miami.
Are they still not the best defense though? New England.
Nah, they suck, bro. They suck defensively. Yeah, I'll probably have to give it to the Revs on this one. Or it could be a draw, but I think it's gonna be a close game and Revs take it. I'm gonna give it to the Revs.
Revolution have 14 goals conceded on the season. I think
they're one of the better teams in MLS.
Yeah, Vancouver. I think Vancouver has the best defense.
Yeah.
I give it to Montreal.
Oh, all right.
I agree with Montreal.
A little French Canadian love. I see it, Musa. I see it.
I lived there long enough.
That's the cool team up there.
Honda.
Oh, it is.
I'm keeping New England, bro.
Yeah, I think T Crate might be creating some vibes for this one. Of course, on the road, not at home, but still. All right, man. Cincinnati hosting DC. Cincy coming off that crazy 3-3 draw with Dallas.
Evander hat trick.
Evander hat trick. All right.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
I could see a Denke hat trick, but Evander hat trick.
Yeah, I mean, Evander didn't do shit against Dallas. But I mean, DC's honestly worse than Dallas. So
No. I'm back in Cincy 100%.
Hey, listen, is Benteke back? If not, then
I'm going
it's an
Cincy, bro.
obvious choice. Even
It'd
with
be crazy to see Cincinnati drop points at home to Dallas and then do it again against DC. Like, I just don't see back-to-back games of that happening. So I'm gonna go Cincy.
No,
DC's
Benteke isn't back until a couple weeks.
Yeah. So give me.
all right. So
Benteke
DC
for
gets 0 goals. All right, let's go.
Wow.
Musa?
I'm going to say DC's going to win it with a
Oh,
winner.
okay. Here we go.
And a winner from Kijima. Kijima is
hey.
going to score the winner.
We'll see. We'll see.
Put
I
it
like
on
that pick,
paper.
though. I like that
I'm
pick.
not, I'm not picking Cincy, but yes.
Let's go, man. All right. Game of the week
Back in
potential.
Lucho, let's go. All right.
Miami hosting Columbus.
Give me a draw. For some reason, Miami always end up doing some shit, and it ties. Like versus Columbus.
Yeah.
Oh, but it can't be Dallas though.
Can't beat Dallas. They let Montreal score too, though.
Exactly.
Montreal scored with those goals include before the game. Montreal had 10 goals in the season. They pumped in 2 against Miami on the road. I don't let that sway my decision here too much.
No, I'm going
Be
Columbus.
Be the messy hater like Davi.
I'm the Messi hater, but I'm a Messi fan. So
yeah, same. I'm gonna go Columbus. I really wanted to pick draw, but I do think that, bro, this Miami defense. I'll be honest. I'm gonna go on record saying it right now, so nobody can say I'm just bandwagoning later. Miami will not win MLS Cup as long as their defense looks like this.
I agree.
They will never hoist that trophy. You cannot go into playoffs against teams that know what they're doing, leaking goals from everywhere. It's just not going to happen. I don't care how many you score.
Dude, I think
they're not the Galaxy.
I think last year was their best shot.
Over
exactly.
Messi. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, they will never win as long as their defense is this bad. Like, it's crazy, bro. They're talking about signing, like, what was it? It was De Bruyne before the Napoli thing, and like Neymar at one point, Di Maria. Like, bro, go get a fucking center back.
Now it's Modric.
Go
now it's
Modric.
Modric.
Someone who knows what they're doing in the back line. That's what you need. You do not need another aging midfielder or striker. You don't.
Now they want to sign a 40-year-old Modric.
Yeah, Modric too. I'm like, bro, you go out and get a defensive mid, a center back, a fullback, something that's going to boost your back line because you're actually atrocious back there.
Me and Jose are never beating the Messi hate allegations.
I don't care though. At this point, I'm going to embrace it at some point. He's quite literally the villain now, and
somebody to help Sergio Busquets back there, bro.
They should have got Ramos before he went to Diablo, bro. No bullshit.
Exactly.
Before he went today, he should have got Ramos and just like teamed up with him. And I know damn well Sergio has too much pride to be playing the way that they're playing in the back right now. So,
oh yeah.
Yep. Did we get everybody's pick? Everybody's pick?
I got Columbus.
Yep. All right, Musa, let's get it, man. Good. Red Bulls hosting Hotlanta. Talked about it before.
I want to see them achieve greatness. Give me Hotlanta championship DVD.
I think this is going to be one of the games they win in this 4-game stretch. I think it's going to be Atlanta.
I'm going to go 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. You're backing your rival to get a point.
Yes.
Man, that's crazy, bro.
Crazy. Musa.
Atlanta.
Davi, you're the NYCFC fan. You're the only one who has Red Bulls getting points in this game.
Hey, did you get abducted? Did you get abducted, bro?
Me? No.
Is that you? Is that you, bro? Is that you?
Next week, bro.
Yeah, might have an Emil Forsberg kit with your name on it.
No,
all right.
No. He's back.
Orlando hosting Chicago. I was hoping Rollins could be here for this one. He actually ended up having something pop up at the last second. But dude, this is actually going to be a pretty decent game.
John versus John Darby.
The John Darby, 100%. I'm back in Orlando. I know they lost a crazy game to Atlanta, but I think that they win at home in this one.
Yeah, I think the 2 red cards. I think the 2 red cards will have an effect. Or did they play yesterday or Chicago?
Yeah, they did.
All right, so they're back. All right, never mind then. I'm still going to Orlando then.
Wait, who did play yesterday?
Chicago.
Oh, actually, no. They played. Did they play yesterday?
No,
they played Sunday, right? They played Sunday. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you meant Orlando. Orlando did play yesterday.
Chicago didn't play yesterday then?
No.
No.
Okay, so all right, so the red
They're
cards will
fresh.
carry over to this game.
They're
So
fresh. Yeah.
either way,
they
I'm
played
going.
some-
I'm going to Orlando.
Okay.
4-4.
Electrifying
Ojeda
draw.
masterclass incoming. So I'm calling it right
Draw.
now. Draw.
Vipers and Ojeda, they're gonna cook something right there, bro.
100%, bro. This also has like sneaky match of the week potential. We'll see. Toronto hosting Charlotte.
Give me Toronto, bro.
Whoa.
You know what? It's not even a bad pick, bro. We just destroyed Charlotte earlier. I actually think this is actually decent. I'm gonna say a draw.
You know, I'm with you. I'll take a draw.
The Toronto barely lost to Philly. I mean, it was at home. They probably should have at least drawn the game, but barely lost to Philly.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the 2 late goals, they would have won it.
Yeah, true. Musa? What are you thinking?
I think we'll say a win for Toronto. I don't think Charlotte's going to click just yet.
Toronto wins.
2 Toronto. That might be the first time this season in Wake Up MLS where 2 of the creators on this show have picked Toronto to win the game. That's crazy.
Charlotte has not clicked yet.
Charlotte, bro.
I don't know, man. Bernadeschi masterclass incoming. We'll see. I'm not excited about this game at all. Dallas hosting Philadelphia. I'm really not excited about this game. I'd be more excited if we were on the road. If we were on the road in this game and we were to go down 2-0, I'd be like, bro, we're so cooking right now. They're not even ready for what's about to happen.
Who do you have in the back line that could go 1-on-1 versus Bodybull, bro?
Bro,
Tell me. To give you
Urogide. However,
Urogide.
he came out of the game against Cincy. I think he pulled up with a slight knock. I don't know what happened. But honestly, I thought the game was over when that happened. We were down 2-0. He came out. He's quite literally our best defender, and I believe he's actually the most underrated defender in MLS. He's a Frenchman, bro. He's so good.
Of course.
Yeah, of course, right? But bro, he's such an underrated defender. If you actually watch this guy play, he's a fucking animal. It's crazy. He reminds me of like Gabriel for Arsenal, or bro, like if Saliba and Gabriel were like the same player, at least in terms of like what he does physicality wise, progressing the ball up the pitch, passing, like dude, he's so underrated. But at the same time, I don't know if he's going to play against Buddy Boy in this game. That's what I don't know. So by that logic, I wouldn't be mad if you guys picked Philly. I really wouldn't be mad.
I'm gonna go with the draw though. Like I know you guys are at home, and it is Philly. Philly has one of the best players in MLS right now, but
yeah,
Dallas also has potentially one of the best players MLS has seen recently.
I actually don't get this team, bro. It's like they have to go down early for them to like wake up and just start playing. You know what I mean? Like I don't know why it has to come to that. Like against Miami, against Cincinnati, against good teams, it's like, yeah, let's just let them kind of walk all over us in the first half.
I mean,
and we'll like turn
Moose is back, right?
Yeah, he scored in the last game against Cincy. So. Yeah, he's back. So
draw.
Yeah, I'm gonna say draw too because I can't pick Dallas to win, but it's gonna be a very tough game at home.
I'm gonna pick Dallas.
Whoo, my man. Let's go, baby.
Okay,
I like that. Musa.
I had Philly from the very beginning, so
fair enough, bro. Fair enough.
But I guess now I have to watch Dallas. Now you say there's a countryman of mine, so now I have to watch.
Bro, I'm telling you, I'd be really curious for your opinion. Nobody ever talks about Urogide, and I'm like, dude, this guy is a monster. If we find like another center back that we can pair with him, Dallas's back line might finally be fixed because Ibiaga's not him. Although he did score the equalizer against Cincy, and I'll take that. But dude, Urogide, man,
so
watch this Frenchman, man. I think he came from, was it Amiens? Is that how you say it?
Yeah. Right. So he's still in the Parisian. So it's even closer to my. So it's one of my people.
Go get that Brazilian that Houston sold to the Brazilian league. I forgot what his name was.
Bro, you imagine what was his name? What was his name? Marca? I can't remember what his name was. But yes, I know you're talking about. And he honestly, bro, he's like a top 5 defender in MLS, so I doubt we get him. But you never know. You never know. All right, man. Speaking of Houston, they host KC at the weekend. This is Houston at home, so I'm gonna say draw. Houston at home are like Dallas at home, bro. I don't know what it is. They just like don't care.
Houston.
They're looking better, bro.
Yeah, they are looking better. I'm not saying they aren't. I don't ever like. They're so much better on the road than they are at home. That's what I think.
Yeah, they are. So. That's true, but
evidence of last night's 3-0 win.
Not even just last night, bro. I think they're on a run of away games right now. They beat Dallas away 2-0 pretty comfortably.
It's like the first time in like a decade or so.
Yeah, it was like not more than that, like 2011. So Like if Houston's doing this on the road, I'm like, on the road they're scary. At home, it's still kind of weird, it's like 50-50. So I'm gonna say draw because SKC can still punish you with Daniel Shalhoub, with Joveljic. So I'm not convinced that they're gonna build to keep them out.
They can make you get own goals out of nowhere, you know. I'm just saying,
Galaxy are still hurting from that one, bro. That was a crazy way to lose. Musa, your pick?
Houston's about to smash NKC.
I had a feeling it was going that way, but I had to ask anyway. Galaxy hosting Salt Lake.
We all know this.
Surely this is the week, right? Surely.
Yeah, this might be.
Sorry,
Miguel Berry. I will cut my hair to look like R9 if you score a hat trick.
Yes,
do it. Miguel Berry.
You hear that, Miguel Berry? Better fucking score.
Do it. Ramirez, any of the strikers, bro, at this point, because I'm getting tired of play. Like, here's the thing: we're playing better than the opponents recently. We're still losing, right? Like, at this point, what else do we do? What else do we have to do?
I have no idea, bro.
Just pray for a win at this point.
Nacimiento got an offside fucking goal, bro. Looking like Mbappe, bro. Like, false goals.
Bro,
don't get me wrong,
crazy.
Not goal scorer, but still, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy though. I mean, when you think about it, like what is it? Galaxy have now tied the longest single season winless streak in MLS history with 16. So I think this just means they're due to break it.
Who did they tie? Who's the team that they tied?
There was multiple teams. So I believe it's Houston. Yeah, so it's Houston who went 16 matches. The only team that's gotten close to that, San Jose, 15 straight matches back in 2014. So Houston in 2021 went on the same streak as the Galaxy, 16 winless matches. So yeah, that's kind of where we are right now. Again, can the Galaxy contain Diego Luna? Bigger question.
How are you going to be one of the most historic, winning the most titles? And yeah, you're getting these evaluations as well too. Like losing to a team that hasn't attempted a freaking goal, right? Being the team that has went on the most winless freaking streak. Only the Galaxy could do that. No other team in any other league could do that.
Yeah,
like
I actually agree with that. With that said, bro, this is so crazy. The only team now in MLS who does not have that one in the win column. I'm gonna go
the MLS.
I think it, bro.
It better be this game. I'm going for a win.
I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't want to say it outright, but like, it may not happen until like.
No,
I thought that's what was going to happen. But now,
stop with this freaking hero ball. Painso, stop with this fucking hero ball. I'm seeing you two. You just want to shoot. You just want to be the hero. Stop. Yeah. Lay it off. Nacimiento was wide open, Painso. Lay it off. He would have scored the goal, bro. Like,
I agree. I think it won't. It might happen against St. Louis, but like, I don't know, man. Like Diego Luna has massive X factor, and like, it's just if he shows up in balls. And now he's like has this chip on his shoulder to prove himself before the World Cup. I don't know, man. Like I think it's like Salt Lake just has that guy as long as he's playing.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
do it against a winless Galaxy, bro. Like, come on, man.
I'm gonna go with draw.
Dude, I think the only way the Galaxy can get a win is they play NYCFC, no matter where they fucking play it, dude. Because we just don't show up against these fucking teams that are below us in the table.
Bro, I think Galaxy's best chance to win is next, there's like a 2-week break after this, like June the 14th against St. Louis, because after that they have Colorado, San Jose, Vancouver, and then DC. DC is probably their next best opportunity, and that's not coming until middle of July. So
I'll tell you this: we're not beating St. Louis. That's for sure. They got a new manager already, bro. If they would have kept their own manager, like okay, maybe.
St. Louis aren't beating many teams, bro. Like I get new manager bounce. I haven't seen it yet. If St. Louis come out swinging this weekend, I'll hold my hands up. I'll say, you know what? It is what it is. New manager bounce is real. I'm not going to underestimate it.
Galaxy
but unless that happens,
St. Louis yet.
Unless that happens, bro. The last manager had more yellow cards than wins. I'm not.
It could be the year where we're the worst, bro. It could literally be the year where we're the worst, where we beat you guys at your home.
If that happens.
What will you do?
Bring back Darnell, bro.
Dude,
Bring him back tomorrow. I
if
don't care
that
what you gotta
happens,
offer him.
you better bring Ancelotti to coach City because that would not be good.
It would be a hell of a season, though. If Mellberg hadn't been fired by that point, it would definitely happen at that point. Yeah, man. We got our picks all the way around for this one. I have draw, by the way.
I'm going Galaxy.
Galaxy. Salt Lake. Okay, we got
Luna is way too good. He's on fire.
He is, man. He's in crazy form. San Diego hosting Austin. They have played already. San Diego.
Austin beat them. That was their first. That was their first loss.
That was the Q2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This one's at Snapdragon. I'm taking San Diego at home.
San Diego, bro.
San Diego.
Agreed.
I guess we'll say San Diego. They have to get back from their recent loss. So I will say San Diego.
Yeah.
The Nico Estevez agenda continues.
When you talk about a manager, Musa, who says all the right things, but their style of play is god awful, that is Nico Estevez. 100%. I still remember to this day, after like the first game or two, hearing Austin fans like praise Nico Estevez for like what he was saying in the press conference and in the post game pressers, because of like how Josh Wolf was and never took responsibility. It's like, that's cool, but I still want a manager who knows what he's doing. I still want a manager who plays attacking football.
I'm not going to lie.
Just turtle down.
If you say you have a list of like 25 different names and Dominic Torrent's on that list and you end up hiring Estevez, that's it's either somebody's capping or everybody said no and Estevez said yes.
Somebody's capping, bro. They're just getting the fans fired up. That's all that was. Especially after the bad blood with Wolf, you just need the fans to be excited again. That's all that was. Because again, you don't lay on Nico Estevez if that's the case. Seattle hosting Minnesota. This might be a boring ass game. I'm not even gonna lie, guys. Yeah, Minnesota's a good team, but they're not a sexy team. They're a good team,
not a sexy team, but they are winning at home. I'm gonna take Seattle 1-0.
This is third versus fourth.
Yeah, but again, to me, they're just not fun teams to watch. Minnesota is more fun to watch than Seattle, bro. Dallas just played Seattle at Lumen Field. It was 1-0 to Seattle in an 86th minute penalty kick. The rest of the game was just like, I might as well not watch it. Like, it really wasn't. There were no crazy big chances, no crazy saves. It was just a PK at the end.
Is Seattle the old Nashville at home? Because that's how Nashville used to play.
Yeah. Seattle to me is just not like they're not.
Except Nashville had Hani Mukhtar.
They don't have any like crazy playmakers. De La Vega is supposed to be that. He hasn't really panned out just yet. Georgie is like he can be that when he does play, but I don't know, man. It's just not a fun team to watch, in my opinion. At least until guys like Jordan Morris and whatnot get back. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're not fully healthy, so I'm gonna back Minnesota. I think they're the better team. But either way, I think it's like a 1-0. I really think this game's gonna be that fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm back Seattle, but 1-0. Like, it's gonna be dead.
I agree.
Cause Seattle.
Two good defensive teams though. Like they're pretty good defensively.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
I'll take a draw.
Who'd you have?
I'm gonna take a draw.
Okay. Musa?
I'm gonna put Seattle.
Yeah.
I don't like Minnesota anymore. So
that's so random. I don't
know. Did you see? Well, the U.S. Open Cup, our team, St. Louis, was playing against Minnesota.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
They got caught asleep. And guess, David, you were talking about ex-players playing against your team. Marketic, that we traded there, scored 2 goals to kick us off the U.S. Open Cup.
Well, you know what? At least I don't feel alone in that anymore.
Getting the old Siegel treatment. I like that.
Dude,
I like that.
Yeah. So that's the only reason.
DC hosting Chicago. Chicago.
Sure.
Are these the makeup games? Yeah, these are the makeup games from last week, right?
Yeah. So this one, this is the last one, but again, it's being played like on the following. It's weird. Match day 17 doesn't end until like the following.
There's another one. It's Colorado Austin. I don't know if you forgot that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, give me Chicago on this one.
You know, I'm on the full fuck Greg Berhalter train. Give me DC.
Oh, bro. I mean, you can't let the bias factor in so hard. You really think Berhalter's going to lose to DC?
Fuck him, bro. Yes. I hate him.
There's no way he lose to DC, bro. I'd be shocked.
The players will not lose to DC. Greg Berhalter, they're not gonna listen to him, bro. In this one,
they'll lose.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Wait, does anyone know why LAFC Colorado's canceled?
I don't know. There's 2 games canceled. There's Vancouver and Portland also canceled this.
Well, Vancouver, we know
Vancouver's like
why.
triple C. Yeah. But
Yeah,
LAFC could not tell you. Could not tell you. The Colorado Austin game, by the way, I don't know if that's being played at the same time as Chicago and
that one's at
No, it should be
9:30.
2 hours after.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll get to that game in just a second. But DC Chicago, everybody good? I have Triple G winning. I think Chicago's going to win this one.
Same, Triple G.
DC, Musa,
DC.
All right, we're split there, and then finally Colorado hosting Austin. Give me this.
This is so
Give me the
weird,
Raptors,
bro.
Yes.
You go
Full
full
hate watch in
but
effect. The hate watch will be in. We will be there.
I'm gonna
This
go
place
1-1
so
draw.
weird, bro. You don't even know like what the hell they're gonna do, bro. Where's Colorado?
Facts.
Mihailovic,
Colorado.
let's bring him back, bro.
Yeah,
Let's
bring it
go.
back.
Let's get it. Back in the MVP
Wow.
discussion. I'm in.
I'm
Georgie, we need it, bro.
Colorado.
We're trying to channel that shit. You need to get going.
Batty, that was it, 23-year-old. Oh, homegrown. I think he's on fire lately. So I gotta give Colorado.
All right, Davi.
Draw.
It's not a bad shout. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have it. There it is. Our quick fire predictions for match day 17. Look, man, the schedule is getting really weird. It always does heading into the summer. New tournaments are going to start popping up. You got teams like Vancouver that are playing in cup finals coming up pretty soon. Makeup match day is going to be all over the place, and some pauses in between with the matches as well. So stick with us, bear with us. If we don't have a set of matches to cover on Wake Up MLS in any given week, we will come to the table with something content-wise. So again, as usual, if you enjoyed the content for this episode and this channel in general, do me a favor, like the video down below, subscribe to Goals TV for more weekly MLS, USL, women's soccer content, and of course, can't forget about the Unleashed series by Eric Winalda. You can find it all on Goals TV. So again, subscribe, come back time and time again. We're here for you. We got you covered. And again, right, go follow all the creators that you see on screen, man. Their links will be down in the description notes below. Go check them out. Go follow all their wild takes. And hey, if you want to hear them speak the truth or their truth on this show, subscribe to the channel. Come back time and time again. Again, we are here for you guys. All right, so everybody here at Wake Up MLS, my name is Jose. That's Musa. That's Davi. That's Honda. We'll catch you guys next time.